Today we're looking at 1.23 acres of land for sale in northern Georgia, and in this video I'm going to show you the top things that will help you decide whether this property is a good fit for you based on my experience selling over 700 parcels of land. So let's start with location. Now this property is in, again, northern Georgia, near the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, very close to the Chattahoochee National Forest. So we are just outside of the small town of Ranger in the Talking Rock Creek area. So this is Talking Rock Wildlife Management Area, is just to the south. And we are in the hills here. This is a very green, forested, rolling hill area. And this is a community for people who are looking for like a vacation home or a new home that is in the middle of nature in the hills, in a quieter location, farther away from noise and big city. But also this isn't too far from Atlanta, as we can see here. All right, so let's take a look at the property. So here's the panoramic view from the ground. We are in the hills, so this is a sloped lot. That would be pretty common in this area. The whole community is built in the hills. So you'd be looking at something like a walkout basement, most likely, as the construction type. And there are homes, plenty of homes that have been built in the community, but as you can see, it still is fairly rural in feel. Homes are more spread out. There's a lot of privacy. You're not going to have too many neighbors nearby, and you get a lot of trees, and you do get the views of the mountains here. So it's a very pretty, bucolic area. But I do want to be upfront about who this property is for and who it isn't for. So I did mention this is a good lot for someone looking for a vacation home or a new home in a more rural area. I will note that it is in an HOA in Talking Rock Creek Resort. So if you are looking for unrestricted land, this would not be the right fit for you. Also, if you're looking for a mobile home lot, this would not be the right fit. Or a flat lot, a lot with all city utilities, or of course, a lot that is in the middle of a city with, nightlife and all of that. So again, this is a property for someone who is looking for that quieter lot in nature, not surrounded by a lot of neighbors, but you still get some of the security and security and maintained community feel that comes with being in an HOA. So I'll cover what you get in this particular location in a second. All right, so we can see more images here. And now, again, as I was saying, this is in the Talking Rock Creek Resort. Annual dues are $900 a year, so they're not terrible, still low enough that it would be feasible to buy this property and either have it as a long-term hold for an investment or hold for a couple of years prior to building. And the annual taxes are very low, only like $60 a year. All right, so we are in the Talking Rock Creek community. And their website is trcra.com, Talking Rock Creek Resort Association, trcra.com. Okay. So it is a mountain area. It's for anyone looking for a mountain property, as we were talking about. It's known for its mountain views, seclusion, and tranquility. And it is a gated community. So again, one of the advantages of buying into an HOA is you do get that added layer of security. You have the gate. In some rural areas, I think some people feel more secure in an HOA because, sometimes you get a little more of maybe a mixed bag out in rural communities. So, sometimes, not always, of course. But they do also have a recreation center. So you can see here, in terms of amenities, there are lakes within the community, private mountain lakes, plenty of hiking and nature trails within the community. And they have a pool. They don't have photos of it right now, and a lodge as well. Right. And we can see more photos here of the area. But in terms of what you are allowed to do on the property, so on their website, they do have all public documents. We also have a link to the CCRs on our listing page. But we can quickly pull up the building requirements. It seems to be fairly minimal. The big thing is, as I mentioned earlier, no mobile homes or trailers. So this is not a mobile home or RV lot. But RVs, actually, I should say, are allowed on a temporary basis. So if you're looking to potentially just camp in it or something like that, it does seem like that may be allowed. I would call Talking Rock Creek to confirm that, though. And the dwellings do have to be at least 1,050 square feet, which is actually not bad as far as HOA rules go. That's fairly reasonable size. It means you don't have to build a mansion. You could still build a smaller cabin here. All right. And the other big thing to note on this document is that trees greater than 6 inches in diameter do need written consent for removal. So those are things to keep in mind. But overall, the restrictions aren't all that complicated in this particular community, which is one nice thing about Talking Rock Creek. Although, again, I do always recommend that you contact them to go over what you're looking to do on the property and make sure that it follows all their local rules and regulations. Now, they also note the utilities that are available in this area. Now, being a more rural lot, you would need well and septic for water and sewer, but electric is provided by Georgia Power, primarily, I believe, or Amicalola. I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly, but they have their contact information on this sheet, which is available on their website. And there is TV service, internet, land phone line, exterminators, lawn service, yard service, and propane. And they have numbers for all those providers as well. All right, so that covers utilities and what you can do on the property. I do also want to call out a few other key items that are important to understand, especially if you want to build. But first, a little bit more about the surrounding area. Okay, so in terms of like basic day-to-day amenities, because I know if you want to build, it's probably important to know how far you are from a market. We are about 15 minutes to Ranger, which is a small town, and in Ranger, there is a Dollar General. You can also go a little further out to Calhoun, which is a little bit larger. They have a market. There's a sort of convenience store, as well as a smaller market here, and then some other markets in the nearby vicinity. Actually, Ingalls Market is closer in Jasper. So Jasper is about 35 minutes away, right? So there are basic amenities in the nearby vicinity, and there is a hospital also in Jasper, which is 35 minutes away. Now, in terms of schools, you have kind of average schools in the area, average to above average schools in the area. And in terms of home prices, if you did want to build, you're looking at, based on sold comps here, homes are going for 400K-ish, somewhere in the 400K range. So homes do have a decent amount of value in this community. And that's actually one advantage of being in an HOA. All right, so yeah, now there are a few other just basic items I want to go over that would be important as you're trying to determine whether this lot will work for you. So let's take a look at some of the physical characteristics of the land, like topography and flood zone. Okay. So again, as we saw from the drone footage, this is a mountain lot, so it is going to have a slope to it. The property does slope down from the road. The approximate elevation is about 1,060 feet. And the property is not in a special hazard flood zone, which is important because that means there aren't additional requirements for flood insurance or for elevating the property. And the property is also not in a wetlands, which is important because wetlands can really impact your ability to build. Right. Now, in terms of soils, because again, you would need a septic system here, it looks like pretty much the whole area has the same soil type. And one thing that we look for before we buy a property is whether there are lots of a similar soil type that have been built on, because that's a good sign that the property would be able to pass a PERC test. So as you can see here, again, pretty much the whole area has the same soil type, and there are homes that have been built here. So that's a good sign for septic. And I'll pull up the soil report as well here. All right, so again, you can see it's a sloping lot. Like I said, this is a mountain community. You're going to expect slopes. And the soil type is, well, actually I won't go over this because I'm not really familiar enough with soils to know what kind of soil this is. But if you do have some knowledge about soils, you can check out the soil types here on the soil report. All right. So I think that covers most of the basic details. And that would bring us to probably one of the most important item for determining whether this property will work for you or not, and that is the price. But before I go there, I do quickly want to introduce myself so you know who you're working with. My name is Erica. I'm actually the co-founder of Gokche Capital. I do have a company. Our mission is I have a company that sells land, and our mission is to help people across the country become landowners and build their own version of the American dream. And we have helped over 700 people become landowners at this point. You can find all of our listings at land.gocap.com. And you can see on the map here that we do work throughout the entire US. So if you're looking in other states, you can check those out on the map. We do have a few other properties in Georgia that you can check out as well, and also a lot of properties in North Carolina. So if you're also interested in North Carolina, you can check out those properties. But today we are looking at property 821. It is the property on Trenton Drive in Gordon County. This is, actually I should mention that 821 is our internal numbering system. So don't expect to see that number on the deed. If you did want to call the county and do your research with them, you can give them this number here, which is the assessor's parcel number. But to find the property on our website, you would look for number 821. Right. So this property is priced at $13,273 plus the $595 dock fee. And one thing I'll say is we are not real estate agents. We only sell properties that our company owns. So that does mean two things. First, you are working directly with the owner. But second, we can offer owner financing on all of our properties, including this one. Now, you're not going to see set owner financing terms on the listing page, and that is because we do tailor our owner financing terms to meet the needs of each individual buyer. So if you are interested in owner financing, I do always say it's a good idea to reach out to us and let us know what kind of monthly payment and down payment will work with your budget, and we will come up with some options that make the property affordable for you. I do, though, want to be upfront with two terms. So the first is the higher the down payment, the lower the interest rate. The second is that we do say there's no building on or living on the property until the end of the loan term, although you can use the property for recreational purposes, or you can make minor improvements as long as you're in compliance with all local rules and regulations. I'll also say that there's no prepayment penalty, so you can always pay off the loan early and save on interest. And actually, if you pay off early enough, we do give you cash back. So if you pay off in 6 months, you'll get 5% cash back. And if you pay off in 12 months, you'll get 2.5% cash back. Now, the other thing I like to call out is we do have a 365-day exchange guarantee as well. And we created this because we had heard from a number of other buyers in the past that, particularly for first-time land buyers, one of their biggest concerns was not necessarily knowing all the due diligence they needed to do prior to a purchase and getting a property that doesn't work for them. So to solve for this, we did create the 365-day land exchange guarantee. It's kind of like GPS for owner financing. So just like with a GPS system, it'll reroute you if you take a wrong turn. With this, we can reroute you to a different property if you end up with a property that doesn't work for you. And the way it works is anytime in the first year of owner financing, you can exchange the property for any other property in our inventory. You do have to pay another dock fee, but we will, as soon as you let us know you'd like to exchange a property, we will transfer over all of the principal you'd paid to the first property to the second, and this way you can move forward with a lot that really works for you. The other thing I'll say is that based on feedback from the hundreds of previous buyers we've worked with, we did put together a landowner success bundle that we give free with every purchase. And it's a set of 9 bonuses designed to help you get the most from your land. So these bonuses include exclusive offers with mobile home manufacturers and dealers, monthly landowner Q&A calls with me. So this is to make sure you're not on your own even once the deed is recorded. You also get a complimentary vacation voucher valid for a 3-night hotel stay in one of over 50 global locations, and a hotel savings card, which has a $500 value that you can use to buy down hotel stays throughout the US. And these 2 bonuses are designed to help offset the cost of moving to a property or visiting a property or even just a vacation to celebrate land ownership. You can also request a free 30-minute architectural consultation with me if you're looking to build, because I do have a background in architecture, so we can go over next steps and things you should look out for. And you also get our homesteading guide and building and zoning guide. And I will note that these are not short, like 3-page PDFs. We did spend a couple months putting together everything we believed you should know if you were looking to use a property for homesteading or building. And they're about 100 pages each. You also get a post-closing checklist to make sure you're set up correctly and our neighbor lookup tutorial. So you get all of these bonuses free with every purchase. You'll get them once the deed is recorded. So that's either upfront with a cash sale or at the end of the loan term with owner financing. All right. So if you are interested in this property, I do recommend doing 2 things. The first is hold the property on our website. And I say this because in the past, before we had this hold feature, we used to have people go out to visit the property or, take some time to call the county. And then when they got back to us, the property was sold. So to prevent that from happening, we did create a hold feature. It's only $50 for 2 days, and you can hold for up to 8 days. When you hold the property, you take it off market, and that gives you time to visit the property, call us, call the county, do whatever you need to do to become comfortable with the lot. And that hold fee is applied to the purchase price when you move forward. In fact, it'd be applied to the purchase price regardless of which property you purchased, as long as you buy within 90 days. So that's the first thing I always recommend. You can hold the property on our website. Just click buy or hold and then click hold, and there's a simple automated checkout process you can use. The second thing I recommend doing is booking a call to go over questions, next steps, and owner financing terms if you do want to use owner financing. And you can book a call at call.goatcap.com. This is my personal calendar. So you can book a time there. Right, so those are the 2 steps I recommend. Hold the property and book a call with me. The other thing I'll say is if you're watching this video and you're just getting started with your land search, so you're still not entirely certain what property you're interested in, you can also go to my calendar and book a free land strategy call. And on these calls, we can go over your goals, your land buying goals, and some of the tips that I would, or the things that I would recommend looking out for as you are looking at various properties to make sure that you end up getting a property that really works for you. We can also go over properties in our inventory if that makes sense. If not, we can just talk about your goals and some things that I would recommend that you research every time you look at a property. And also, speaking of property research, I am live every day at 7 p.m. Eastern. Just like today. And on these lives, I do free property reviews as well. So I'll go over one of our properties, but I'll also do a free property review for anyone who shows up. So if you are in the market for land and you're looking at various properties and you would like a free second opinion, you can always join any day at 7 p.m. Eastern and leave your property in the chat. Finally, we do have a free land giveaway We run this twice a year. It's just a fun promotion to get the word out about our company. So the next one's coming up on July 4th. And on July 4th, we will give away the lowest value property in our inventory for free. We'll give it away live on YouTube. So if you would like to participate in that, you can watch a quick 1-minute video at freelandgiveaway.com, or you can go to our YouTube homepage at Gökçe Capital and watch the quick video to see how to participate. All right, so that's it for now. Again, you can find all of our properties at land.gocap.com. And today we were looking at number 821, the property on Trenton Drive. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful